Welcome back to Good Morning Maine. We're here with Kevin Johnson. He is the photo archivist for Penobscot Marine Museum. Kevin, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. And you're coming on to talk about, of course, the museum's opening as of tomorrow.
The museum opens for the season tomorrow,
Nice.
and tomorrow evening from 4 to 7 we have a free and open reception to the public where they can look at a couple of our new exhibits in 2 of our buildings.
Cool. Yeah, big keyword there, free.
During that time, yes, it's free.
Yeah, awesome. So 2 new exhibits, correct?
Actually, there's like 4 that,
Wow.
yeah.
Okay, gotcha. So can you explain a bit of what is that going to be like? Is there photo exhibits?
Yeah, we have several photo exhibits, and we've redone one of our boat barns. We have several boat barns that show different boats from different periods of time.
Cool.
And we also have an exhibit where we've pulled out paintings that go along with a high school project that's been going on.
Wow. So a variety of different things.
Very much so.
Yeah. And as with your job being the photo archivist, I mean, you're kind of a pro at what you're looking at with the photos, right?
Yes, I have some experience with that.
Yeah.
And several of our new exhibits are photo related. And
Yeah.
You know, that's one of my favorite things about the museum over the years is seeing some of these incredible photos. Maine, of course, has a huge maritime history, especially in that area, too. Where do you get these photos? Are they donated? Where do they come from?
Well, all different places. A lot of them do get donated, and as said earlier, I was donated with one of our bigger collections, the Eastern Illustrating collection. One of the collections that we'll be featuring this summer is the National Fisherman Collection, and that's from the journal, The National Fisherman.
Gotcha.
And that exhibit is called Working the Sea.
Yep.
And dives a deeper dive into that collection, and one of their editors has actually authored a book, and we'll be looking at photos and then with an essay that kind of explores the details of that story
Gotcha.
and photo.
Gotcha. So are these different kind of eras of photo? Are they categorized by eras of maritime fishing?
In this particular collection, National Fisherman started in 1954 and it continues to this day. And the magazine donated the archive of photos before they went digital. So it pretty much represents 1954 until like just about 2000.
Wow.
And so the photos in this exhibit span that period of time.
Wow. So, and I'd like to backtrack a little bit too. You said boat barns. I haven't been to the museum yet. This is on my to-do list for this week. But what's the boat barn like?
Okay, so the museum is essentially a campus, and several of the houses have big old barns that they weren't boat barns back in the day, but they are now. That's how we've used them. And they're a collection of primarily wooden boats. The exhibit that features them this year is called Rusticators on the Water.
Cool.
And rusticators were these people from the city that would come up to Maine in the late 1800s and early 1900s for that dose of nature that they needed.
Yeah.
And boats were a big part of their life, often smaller wooden boats that were made by local Mainers, whether they were sailing boats or rowing boats or canoes.
Yep.
So this particular exhibit explores those different watercraft that we have.
See
Fascinating.
how things used to be.
Right.
Right.
'Cause, I mean, the whole town and the museum itself is extremely historic, and it's known as a boat building town, correct?
It is. So Searsport, believe it or not, in the mid-1800s produced 10% of the U.S. sea captains that captained the tall ships that essentially went to Europe and the Far East and South America. And so when you drive through Searsport, you see all these beautiful sea captains' homes. And it was their families that started the museum. Many of the captains had their own shipyards, so there were 7 different active shipyards in Searsport. So
Wow.
It was a bustling place.
it really was.
Plenty of stuff to fuel a really cool museum. But
Very much so.
it looks like we're about out of time for now. Kevin, thank you for joining us. Where can people learn more about this event tomorrow?
So they can go to our website or Facebook page. And again, the event tomorrow is from 4 to 7, and tomorrow kickstarts our season. And until July 1st, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, the museum is open. And starting July 1st, we're open 7 days a week.
Fantastic. Great recap. Thanks for joining us, Kevin.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. We'll send it over to Devin Biggs for our full weather forecast.